It's a misunderstanding if you use the paper as education. Education, to me, is not the paper. If it is the paper, then go to the World Trade Center. You will get your paper tonight. You can even ask, even they can bring it to your house. Just say, I'll pay your way and earn some interest. They'll bring the paper. But education is not the paper. Education is the ability to change your life and change the life of others or impact the society positively. So when we say here that your education is not what will take you there, we just try to use this as a paper-based stuff. It must even be backed by a skill, by what you are good at. And that's why we should sharpen the act of doing something marvelous in support of our education, because skill can be into education, but if we just see the education as paper, it's misleading. There are people who get certificates in their room, they are very angry at night, and these are some of the people who blast at the government in creating jobs. Again, it brings us back home. Let your paper showcase your results. All the effort here we are doing for the next 2 years is all about that. Don't put your heart on the paper alone. Put your heart on the drawing. Put your heart mainly on what you are getting. There are people who are getting angry at their papers. I don't get angry. Why? Because every day I'm trying to add something that is valuable to back it up. In fact, if something had challenged me most is PhD. Because everywhere I go, especially like our society is normally not normal to have young person with stuff. Other countries it's not the case, 25, 26. I actually thought not to use the title. The only reason I thought to use it was to encourage some young people. Because actually it's not the title that does the work. It's the work that shows the title. But the point here is for you, let's realize, because we are talking about a skill. You can get all the credentials, the certification about being a counselor. If you don't know the process or you're doing the job, it doesn't matter whether they improve your desk where the person is seated, they may not come to you the next time. I can go to a particular office, I see a top university, Oxford, and they attract me to say, okay, they got a big credential, but if your work cannot show that, I may change my mind from coming to you. You visit a hospital with a doctor with a big profile before his office, you saw the profile but you can't follow a discussion, you still now want that doctor to treat you. Paper may mislead. I'm saying paper may mislead. I'm not saying paper misleads. May mislead because if your trust is in the paper and not the system, then the paper misleads. So don't trust the paper. Trust your ability. Trust the skill. And pay some attention working on it. Because it will only show once a while. How many times, say you got that job, have you shown your paper to somebody in the office? Some of us only present our certificate one or twice. After that, you may not present that certificate again. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. I'm trying to give you both the content, but the context and the practice. Your master's degree may only be presented once or twice, but your work will be presented every day. Put your effort in your work. Put your effort in the skill. You may have come to the university and say, I need that paper, let it be, and some people will be overlooking me. But again, they will still overlook you with the paper if your work cannot compensate for the paper. And in fact, it can be worse and insulting when you do have the paper not backed by work. Because people will be mocking you in the corners. That's a bad part. Remember the skills. But this is where the work is. The work is never in your certification. Your certification may create the alignment for the institution, but your certification may not be. We hope that you will ponder around this, around some of the things we say, and the same thing applies. If it makes sense, pick it. If it doesn't, discard it. But as much as you can, make some decision around what we said. I know many of us really love the certificate. I love my certificate, but I want to use it maybe 2 or 3 times since I returned. So let there be balance. With the balance, it's possible there will be people to reckon with. And not just that, will change the narrative in the education system. It seems that we have different perception about education in many areas. So the only way the dynamics can change a bit for educators to be considered true educators is by the combination of their papers and their work. The outside world, I know, they no longer celebrate certificates. They celebrate discoveries. They celebrate what people are doing for the society. If you graduate from university, no party. Have you heard some people, when the Liberians say doing the holding parties, which is fine, you can spend some of your money and be broke and look for a job to compensate for some of your money. Right? Yeah, sometimes that's what we do, right? But I mean, it's not bad, we're still encouraging education, but we have made it so much of interest that even our children graduating from high school will force to spend money behind it, and some are not even ready. So we have to take this off. We are confusing the education system. Let's begin to stop the confusion.